FORA.tv. The world is thinking.
I asked my friend in Switzerland, Ollie, how can you people so docilely pay such high taxes? And without missing a beat, he says, well, what's it worth to live in a society where there's no hunger, no homelessness, and where everybody's got access to quality health care and education? It's just an ethic for them. It's not a crusade. It's not anything other than just this is how we want our society. They are every bit as capitalistic as us, but they just have a higher bar for the losers in capitalism, you see. And they just would rather live in a society that doesn't have people on the streets. I think Americans are beautiful, caring people, but one thing we are not very good at is recognizing the gap between rich and poor, between us and the poor world, and between wealthy people and well-off people and poor people in our own country. And when you travel, that gap becomes very apparent. And what I have found in my travels is even if you're motivated only by greed, if you know what's good for you, you don't want to be filthy rich in a desperately poor world. It's just not a pretty picture. That's the beautiful thing about traveling is you see our country in high contrast, our problems, where they're taking us. And here's a community in Central America where there's an armed guard on every street. And you have designer fortifications. When I doze off in San Salvador or Managua and on the bus and I feel speed bumps, I know if I open my eyes and look to the right, I'll see the home of a rich person. You don't buy a big house in El Salvador without putting street bumps in front of it, so angry people have to slow down before they throw explosives into your yard, you see. Then they can take the license plate and get those angry poor people. I was just driving from Dallas out to Plano in Texas, past 10 miles of fortified front yards. Wealthy people who want their kids to get out and get some fresh air, they've got chicken wire over the front so they can be safe and get outside too from all those poor kids in the street. You know, maybe these poor kids are lazy or they got parents that are all screwed up or something, but it's just not a scenario you want to raise your families in. So when we travel, we can gain an empathy for that, and we can come home determined to do something constructive about it. You see beautiful kids in your travels that are every bit as precious as our kids. And when I look at these girls on a garbage dump in El Salvador, I see every bit as much deserving beauty there as my own daughter. And I know my daughter's got $5,000 for straight teeth and money left over for whitener. And I looked around her class, and every girl apparently has $5,000 for straight teeth and money left over for whitener. You know, that's not a bad thing. I don't apologize for that. We have a winning society. I work hard. My daughter gets straight teeth. But that doesn't negate the fact that in this village, the moms are not home because they're out walking for water. And for the cost of 2 sets of braces, you could drill a well in that thirsty community so parents could stay home and take care of their kids. That's not a guilt trip. That's an opportunity. And I was just lobbying for Bread for the World a little bit in Washington, D.C., going to different congresspeople, and I kept hearing this notion of soft power. Even conservatives from military districts are realizing soft power could be more effective and cost-effective for us than waging hard power. Imagine if you spent $10,000 and built a well for that community. Every time those families gathered water like this instead of hiking away from their families, they'd think America. That's a powerful way to win hearts and minds in your travel.